for you today. We're talking about my pick for the best upcoming PvP RPG, whatever that might mean. Actually, it's kind of amoebus. I don't even have a definition myself, and the RPG genre is a little bit vague at the moment in terms of definition, but these games are self-proclaiming themselves to be PvP RPG. So I'm like, yeah, let's do a whole list on those kind of games. That sounds like it's up my alley, and it absolutely is. I would normally consider some of these games like brawlers. I would consider them maybe like battlegrounds because they remind me of MMO battlegrounds. And if you're a fan of that, like you want to be like spell casting and throwing that in an arena, or if you want to have a paper doll and RPG mechanics in a shooter, well, these are the games that kind of pick and choose from RPG mechanics and that aesthetic and throw it into some weird situation scenarios in arenas. I think you guys are gonna have some fun, at least if you follow the games that I play, but regardless, if it's to your taste or not, I think there's an interesting and unique flavor to be had with these games, and certainly you're gonna find at least one game that you haven't seen. So if that's true, well, thumbs up the video, let me know if I'm doing a good job, but let's keep the hype alive, and let's get into the top 5. Alright guys, so the first game that I want to talk about and do a little bit of ribbly-rambly on it, and that's a game called Zeal, because it actually inspired the entire list here. Zeal is the first game that I ever saw, like in its first line even, it's like, this is an PvP RPG, and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. I would normally play games like Dark Souls or, you know, something like that, For Honor even with some of the gear customization. I was always intrigued by that, and of course, I love the battlegrounds and MMOs, so it's really cool to see a game that just takes that inspiration full-heartedly and just go with it. Now, I don't know if you can really technically call it an RPG or not, that's why we're doing the list for funsies, but Zeal is the first game that I saw that is just like, hey, we're doing battlegrounds and we're gonna do it right. 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3 deathmatch style, and it's gonna have all your tried and true classes. Now, some people might say it looks and plays a little bit more grounded. You know, we've got some of the stuff in like Guild Wars 2 arenas, things like that, but I think that this game and the way it plays with the physically, mechanically, with its actual action combat, it gives new life to even stuff like the Priest or the usual wizard gameplay. And also, it's really important to know that you are actually building your character. Your kit isn't preset like a MOBA or some other brawlers. You actually slot the different abilities, then you have customization with some passives, and then even further customization deeper and deeper, and as the game goes on, probably even more than that. You should know, though, that you can actually play the game right now, which is why I have it as the foundation of this list. It's not only the one that caught my eye first, it's one that's literally playable right now, so you should jump in to the alpha demo, which, yeah, it's super early access, but it's kind of inspiring. It's interesting, and at least it's inspiring enough to, well, make this list what it is here. If you guys haven't seen the gameplay or enough of it, you should go check out my first look on it, and if that doesn't seal the deal for Zeal, well, I don't know what will for the rest of the list. Maybe we'll find something that turns you on and gets you into the genre, which apparently is a thing now. Number 4 in our top 5 is gonna be a really weird experimental game. It's called 9 Lives Arena. Now, whenever we're talking about or looking at and speculating about a new genre or the forming of one, the idea of a new genre, you're gonna have some weird stuff. Now, 9 Lives has the gimmick that your character, like each individual character of any player, is a unique character that you actually freaking own because it uses blockchain technology to, you know, do all that stuff and things. I don't know, freaking technology, black magic stuff. So your character has 9 lives. Well, after the 9th life, it's dead, you gotta make a new one. So pretty hardcore with the progression, and it looks like it's got some really grindy, lifey, styley kind of progression. I mean, you even have characters that will work for you in real time. You have to do like literal real training with your character. I don't know, some strange things, but it actually graphically looks pretty interesting. It looks like it's gonna be actually a pretty physical fighting PvP style of game. Now, I don't know how bonkers and magical it's actually going to get, if it's gonna be more low to high fantasy. I don't know, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out, but in the end, I kind of like the more down-to-earth gameplay, at least with this one. I don't know how you feel about some of those gimmicks, but hey, it's something weird to talk about, and I'm pretty sure you haven't heard about this game. So yeah, 9 Lives Arena. What do you guys think about all the different things having lives, blockchain technology, gimmicks, and you know, training, life skilling, lifestyles in your PvP games? Well, it's technically progression, so RPG mechanics, it's PvP focused. There you go. Alright guys, coming in at number 3 here, we have a game that just looks so freaking gorgeous. Really reminds me of like Gigantic mixed with Realm Royale and just totally focused on spell casting. That's what it is. It's a Battlegrounds game that's about spell casting. And I think we've seen a few Battle Royale games that are just spell casting. I actually covered a few of them, but this one just looks so freaking bombastic. Now in the MMO genre or Brawler or Battleground genre, we normally don't have this level of speed or this level of explosivity. And then even the Battle Royale genre, we don't have that either. So the merger of these ideas and then giving it this breakneck speed, this level of insanity, is just something kind of literally magical. So SpellBreak is going to be focusing on big nuclear freaking spells, you know, like a breakneck NASCAR speed, and then thrown in Battle Royale. That sounds cool, man. Let's go. I guess you could say a spell's been cast on me, and hopefully my heart doesn't break when the game actually releases. Many of these games, even, gigantic, as good as it looks, it doesn't matter. The core gameplay's got to be solid, so I don't know. So much speculation. The game is so early on, but I think we can all admit, first glances, for an upcoming game, it's looking pretty spectacular. All right, guys, coming into number 2, we have one that is just a set in stone. It had to make the list, and I'm actually going to put it much higher on the list because it is a sequel, and that is The Division 2. Now, I'm not going to talk too long about this one because I actually didn't play the first Division, even though I love PvP games like this. It's just The Division it just didn't have the themes that I wanted, and the PvP felt like a kind of an afterthought. Am I mistaken in that? It just wasn't like a sandbox MMO like I really envisioned it to be. But The Division 2, I think, is going to really still hone in on all the things that made The Division good. I mean, that's a dream, right? And then cut away what made it bad. Hopefully, they actually make PvP good, because that is something that made it unique. There's a lot of other shooter games that I could play, it's even better. But PvP RPG games don't really exist. The Division 2 was teetering on if it should go in one direction or the other, and I think if they can just keep going in the direction of making it more online, more social, more of an MMO proper instead of a fake MMO, and actually delivered a PvEVP experience, that would be much more engaging and interesting, then I'm going to jump on in. Regardless of what it will turn out to be, if it should be good for people looking like at PvP, RPGs or not, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a great MMO. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad for PvP, but it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a decent game, so I'm going to put it higher on the list. But for PvP RPG, I have the hope that they will actually engage and focus on that PvP aspect. And then I will jump into the series, into the franchise. Otherwise, I don't feel like, fighting bullet sponge brain dead AI over and over again. I want to fight other players, and I think The Division 2 can give me a very unique PvP experience that I haven't seen anywhere else. It just got to, do it good and intertwine that with the core gameplay. Please and thank you, and hopefully you earn your spot as number 2 here, The Division 2. All right, guys, I'm going to do an honorable mention, which I normally don't do, but for this weird list, why not? I want to make the argument that maybe possibly, if these other games are PvP RPG, then maybe Hunt Showdown should be on this list as well, which is an upcoming game. It's early access. I played it. It's actually in a fantastic state right now, but of course, I think it's still lacking. Obviously, it's not a finished game. We need more gadgets, more customization, and, maybe some just more stuff in the environment to interact with, but, it's still a pretty cool game to jump into. I say it's worth money. Regardless, Hunt Showdown is a PvEVP Battle Royale game. However, unlike a lot of these games, even some MMOs, the progression is kind of interesting. It's weird. So you have these lobbies. It's a battle royale game. You jump in. It's like 12 players. It's mostly 2v2. But you have a character that you literally hire, and you actually grow this character, level him up. You customize him like a very miniature paper doll, kind of. And you progress by fighting different monsters. You go on hunts, but then other players are hunting you and the other monsters. So it's like the weirdest mix match of mechanics that's super exciting in itself. And you guys know me. I love me some monsters, man. But in terms of RPG mechanics, you do have a character which you're playing the role as that you customize. I think we do need more customization. We do need more ways to interact with the environment, literally more monsters, more, throwing up like lanterns is fun, but like, can we have some more steampunky stuff and levers and engines and things? That'd be pretty cool. And of course, the literal paper doll, if that could be expanded just a little bit, I think it could technically be a PvP RPG, and probably more properly, it should be on this list than others. But anyways, honorable mention, what do you guys think? Should it make the list, should it not? And what do you think about the definition of PvP RPG at all? All right, let's move it to number 1. All right, so I did want to have a nice spectrum of games from some arena games to a battle royale game to more of a survival game. Now, this one, we're going to go with a full MMO. Obviously, an MMORPG is still an RPG, and a lot of upcoming MMOs happen to be focused on the PvP, but I feel like Crowfall is the one that I want to slap on the list because of it's weird. It's a weird game. Some people would even debate, is it even an MMO, despite it being like massive numbers of players, because it runs in temporary campaigns, which are these little shards that have their own unique rule set and like universe rules and stuff and things and mechanics. And I think that this idea that it's a PvP focused game that has player versus environment and RPG mechanics where, okay, here's one thing. You know in Hunt Showdown, you actually have a character that you grow and you have multiple characters that you can grow. Crowfall, you actually craft the bodies and you grow them individually, like you actually level them up as well, but you have like a soul level and stuff and things, so you kind of hop between bodies as if it's a vehicle. It's super strange. And then you also hop between the different campaigns. You could be in multiples. Some might be free-for-all, battle royale style. Some might be like more siege-based. So freaking weird. Different environments, different monsters and different biomes, different actual like PvP encounters and rule sets. It's very strange, very weird, but it's like, it's got that progression systems. It's got unique progression systems that you don't see in other RPGs, and it does focus on PvP, which is enhanced by the fact that it is PvEVP. So So for other MMOs, I could have slept them on here, but I wanted to show off some weird games and talk about some weird mechanics in games, and Crowfall absolutely it has its reasons to make the list. So yeah, it's number 1 for me. But I know you guys are excited about a lot of these other upcoming MMOs because they are PvP focused, so let me know which ones you think should have made the list in the comments below. All right, that's gonna be it. That's my top 5, guys. Now it's just upcoming. This isn't full review. I haven't played a lot of these games. Like they're literally new games, right? So we can only do so much, and there's a lot of speculation. But these are the most fun lists to do when you are literally speculating on games in a speculative genre that kind of doesn't really exist. Hopefully it can, because I want to see way more games like these. Even if these games crash and fail and burn, which I think a lot of them have. I have mentioned so many nameless games before in the past of brawlers, battleground games. But I want these to exist. I want PvP RPG to become more popular, and I would love more games like Dark Souls specifically, which I think is really the icon and to me the defining game of what is a PvP RPG. But let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below, please, guys. And if I did a good job, did you find a game that you haven't heard of? Throw up a thumb. I don't know, man. Fill some eyeballs on the Patreon so I